Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Out of Nowhere podcast. I'm Oliver James. I'm back in the host seat, and today I'm joined by almost a full cast of Out of Nowhere's people. We have Chelsea.
Hey.
We have Michael.
Good evening.
We have Stephen.
Hey, guys.
And we would be joined by Russ, but he's unfortunately waylaid. However, he might be making a special appearance later on in the episode. So if this is your first time watching, viewing, listening, because we are live on YouTube right now, 9 o'clock as always every week, every Wednesday. We'll be breaking down Raw, getting into the highs, the lows, and the general week that was in professional wrestling. So, top it off, Raw this week. Give us your overall thoughts. Scale of 1 to 10, what do you think of this week's Raw?
I'm a bit distracted, if I'm honest.
Sorry.
We decided to do video, and Mike goes all out with the special effects here.
Sorry. No, I'm good. Go.
Go on, Mike, what thoughts 1 to 10? What do you think overall appearances or thoughts upon Raw?
My overall appearance of Raw was a bit mediocre, wasn't it? It could have done a lot more, even with the story, the way it wanted to go with the story. Some of them were good that we'll get into, but then some of them were just totally half-baked, and like this was half of a good idea before you just decided to just stop completely before you got good.
Did anyone else get the impression that it was very much like they'd had half a show planned and the rest of it was just completely made up? Like,
Yeah.
And if
there was just
even half
there was
segments,
just so many. There was just so many bits that seemed completely like well pointless, and I'm sure we'll get into them, but it was a really strange one, especially off the back. I don't know whether we've just got used to getting a decent 3 hours out of them, that we get one that goes back to how it used to be, and we kind of, obviously disappointed with how it was. I wasn't too fussed with it this week. I thought it were a very, like Mike says, it were very mediocre. But
I think these holiday Raws have a habit of WWE kind of, I don't want to say
half-ass it.
yeah, but that's how it feels, and I think there was like big competition in the way of the NBA as well that night. So I think they just, I think they kind of half-assed it, and it's definitely come across that way of a lot of the old bad habits that we thought we got rid of, making their way back into the show tonight. So let's get into it. We're going to go break down into the 5 key points on Raw and discuss a little bit of any of the business, kind of a quick fire through the rest of the mediocre. But let's start with the main story from Raw this night. It was John Cena's grand return back after how many months? It's felt like a long time since we've seen John Cena back properly in a ring, and he came back tonight to, as always, the liveliest reaction of the night. Let's start this off with Steve's article and what our predictions were coming into this.
No, we all know why you want to start with this, don't we all? I'll tell you what, let's start with the article that I got almost 100% right, shall we? Like you wrote the script yourself.
Or, as I said, found somebody on Twitter who told them exactly what was happening.
Yes, I have absolutely zero contacts into WWE. But
That's just lies, to be honest. You even called Titus O'Neil. Like, that's just magic if you haven't read that from somewhere.
Definitely read it. I mean, you overdid it really. One victory, fine. You claim 2 of them. Questions are going to have to be
I
asked.
didn't get the heel turn, alright? I thought I didn't get the heel turn.
Or maybe you did, and you just didn't tell us.
Yeah, exactly. He played it well. He went, I know what's going to happen, but...
Alright, so for those who didn't see it, John Cena came out, gave his whole America speech, because of course he did. And then
It was Memorial Day.
And then he came back and said, look, people asking the questions, am I too old? Has it passed my time? Well, of course not. He's the face that runs this place, and everything's going to go through him if it's the future. This then brought out AJ Styles. Hello. And what can only be described as, to me, a shocking surprise and use of AJ Styles is they turned him heel, and the club is still a thing, following a pretty damn vicious beatdown of John Cena, if I do say so myself. Steve, once you saw that it was AJ Styles coming out, did you see the heel turn coming?
Not when AJ came out, no. I thought it was going par for the course once AJ came down. They had the talk in the ring, and AJ was going on about respecting him, etc., etc. And I very much believe that as soon as the club's intro music hit, I must admit I thought he's turning here. I did, especially when they were lining up to be go 2-on-2 in the ring right there and then. That was the only time that I actually sensed that he was going to turn heel. But up to that point, I thought it was just. I could see that they were lining up a match between them, but I until the club came out, I thought it was more going to be one of those, respect the hell out of each other. We've both come from where we've come from. Let's give the fans a match that they might have been wanting for a few years now. So to start with, no, but as soon as the club came out, I kind of got the feeling that that's the way that it was going to go, and I've got to say I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Chelsea, first of all, Mr. TNA versus Mr. WWE. You've got to be happy about that. And not just that, it's the leader of the Bullet Club going up against John Cena. Scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you right now?
I'm really excited, actually. Like, this is literally the best possible outcome that I could have thought of. I didn't see the heel turn coming at all, but I think for the fact that I think John Cena's at that point now where, even though there's a possibility he's going to get more title runs and stuff, he's going to be putting talent over more than, well, fingers crossed anyway. But I think Bullet Club are going to come out of this like winning over John Cena, and it's the best possible way to do it, I think.
Well, I guess that is the question, isn't it? We've seen AJ Styles lose the past 3 pay-per-views now. Will he finally get the victory in Money in the Bank if this is a one-on-one match against Cena?
That's good. Yes.
Mike?
That's it. Well, yes. You'd assume so, right? It would. I was with pretty much the same as Stephen. That as soon as the club started coming out, that's when you would have. That's when it clicked that maybe there's a heel turn coming. But it was a shock, really, because I legitimately thought at the end of Raw last week, and even at the Jacksonville Jaguars caps being bust out now. Even at the beginning of Raw, where the Bullet Club had a backstage interview where it was a case of, oh no, we're done with AJ and it's just us now. I was surprised. I thought they were legitimately done until they crossed paths again. But I mean, they crossed paths then an hour later. So I mean, that was shocking. But as soon as they came out and T-shirts started coming off, I think the writing was on the wall. But if John Cena comes through this with a victory, again, the Bullet Club, or the club as you would call them, are just getting booked really soft if they do lose. Hopefully they don't.
I can't see that happening. I mean, the club came out in the early match, didn't they, and attacked the New Day, and I think that's very much going to be a sign of things to come for them as a team, as a trio, going forward. I hope that carries on. I don't think we're going to see this, the way that they've been put over to start with. I think we're going to see a massive improvement on that, and hopefully it carries on like it did on Monday Night Raw. Because I think, as I said on last week's pod, the way you guys have talked about the Bullet Club and stuff, to somebody who doesn't watch the New Japan stuff, certainly wasn't coming over that way. However, on Monday, I certainly got that feeling. So, as somebody who doesn't know the background of the Bullet Club or watch them and only have got like your opinions on it, this is very much, Monday night was very much more what I was expecting from them. So hopefully it continues.
I think we all will. I think that's, as I say, the only thing I can liken it to in the WWE is when the Nexus first debuted and they were just so ruthless. That's the only kind of comparison I can give, and this was certainly a shift towards that as opposed to their more gentle side.
Well, with the beatdown that Bullet Club gave, the club, rather calling them the Bullet Club, gave to John Cena and the two sweeting at the end of it, where can you see this feud going next? I mean, John Cena doesn't quite have the family to call upon like Roman Reigns did with the Usos, so Where can you see it? What do you want to see happen in this feud? I mean, this is as close as you're going to get to a WCW versus WWE guy in the same ring. This is, TNA versus WWE. This is the Bullet Club versus John Cena. Where can you see this being built towards?
I mean, the only way this... Oh. Go, Charles.
I think this is just literally going to end up as a one-on-one Money in the Bank or something like that. I can't really see them turning it into a massive feud, especially with the club coming together. I think this is just going to be John Cena putting over AJ Styles, I think.
Over one pay-per-view?
Well, maybe not just the one, but they might get what's after Money in the Bank? SummerSlam, is it? No.
No, it can't be SummerSlam next week.
I think we'll be going for the 2-1 AJ Styles win. Pay-per-views, I would have thought, definitely.
So maybe
but we've seen her putting him over, when all's said and done.
Well, this is the last pay-per-view before the brand split. We've got, obviously, so June 19th is Money in the Bank. July 18th, I want to say, is the brand split.
19th.
19th is the brand split.
See, that brand split just chucks everything into doubt, doesn't it?
Well,
because
the next pay-per-view being literally that weekend, July 24th.
Battleground. Yeah, what a perfect name for a brand split pay-per-view.
So, and then after that, of course, it's SummerSlam in August. Do you see this going on to August? I mean, like Chelsea said, this could very much be a one-and-done pay-per-view before the brand split, because there's no guessing that Cena and Styles and even the club will all be on the same roster come by the end of July.
I think them two between them, they can put on good enough matches that can take it all the way to SummerSlam. Because whenever John Cena's got someone like that in the ring with him, his matches are really good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen it with Daniel Bryan, we've seen it with CM Punk. He's the kind of you only see, he kind of takes it to a next level almost in terms of the style he wrestles with them. Mike, you're beginning to talk. Where do you see this feud going?
The only way I can see it going is to SummerSlam. It wouldn't make sense to put them in a one-and-done kind of situation. And it might even be that they're on separate shows and they use the separate shows as an element in the storyline that one side's better than the other, and this is, the face of SmackDown versus the face of Raw. Could go down like that. It might not. But it's certainly an option. I don't think them going on separate shows necessarily puts an end to the feud. I agree with Stephen. I think it's probably a 2-1 situation with the score being settled at SummerSlam. Because, I mean, that's a great SummerSlam match, right?
What if I propose this to you? I mean, we've seen the rumours that John Cena's going to SmackDown.
Yeah.
There's also the rumours that SmackDown's going to have its own world title. Is this SmackDown's world title feud?
Quite possibly, yeah.
Is this how they give AJ Styles his title belt?
Or is this how John Cena beats Ric
Breaks the
Flair?
record.
It's an interesting thought, isn't it? I mean, if they do split the titles again, is AJ Styles versus Cena at SummerSlam for SmackDown's title? And the sounds of that just makes me excited all over.
Makes you feel special inside. I would happily take that. Cena breaking his record is inevitable at this point, and rightly deserved in many ways. Even though some people hate him, but if you think, looking back at the last 10 years of wrestling, if it weren't for Cena, we'd have had some drivel for quite a lot of years. So you can boo him all you want, but really, there's a lot of thanks to be said for Cena.
No, definitely, and you just have to hear his reactions. Love him or hate him, he does get genuinely loud. He gets people excited. Unlike
I wasn't expecting to get booed out of the building straight away. I thought they were going to give him one night off. I thought, his first night. I thought he might just literally be full of cheers, but no, they're just straight back into it.
At this point, it's part of course of the thing, though, isn't it? You boo him. You don't necessarily don't like him when you're there live in the crowd, but it's fun to be part of it, I imagine.
it feels more natural than, say, how the WWE seems to be doing the Roman Reigns thing, which we'll get to later,
Yeah.
trust me, because that'll be an interesting talk. But I think we've talked enough about John Cena versus AJ Styles, and as we alluded to, this wasn't the first time we saw the Bullet Club during this evening. Earlier in the night, following a announcement from Shane and Steph regarding the brand split, the New Day came out. We had a match between the New Day versus the Vaudevillains, which would end in yet another vicious beatdown from the Bullet Club. Gallows and Anderson's laying waste to the New Day, and backstage stating that they're putting the tag team division on notice. Steve, does the prospects of the New Day versus the club, Gallows and Anderson, work for you?
It does. It's an exciting prospect, and it's one that I'd love to see. But I don't know. Whether this is just the impression that I've got. I just want to see the club just go around destroying tag teams. Like I would much rather them do that, like at the moment, and then. Have you finished, Michael?
We're just playing. I was listening to every word you said.
I would much rather have them. I think coming, and I think it's quite early for them to go into the title scene. As much as they're not going to do a bad job, it's going to be it'll be enjoyable. The back and forth between them will be enjoyable, but will the comedy the comedy of the New Day against the total seriousness of the club, will that work? I would find it would be quite hard for the New Day to work with the club. I'd have to see how that worked. I'd have to see a couple of promos between those two to see how that's working before I pass judgment on that. I think
it's a really interesting point that can a comedy team really like the New Day work with the we're here to kick ass team such as Gallows and Anderson's? I mean, Mike, where do your thoughts lie on this? Could this bring something new out of the New Day?
I don't think you're going to see the New Day vicious, if that's what you're asking. I don't think they're going to take a serious turn.
We've seen it before.
Yeah, but they've moved on. They're a different breed, they are the child-centric. We're just going to be balls out comedy. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I'm pretty sure if you look back, that's exactly how you would have really accepted the Dudleys versus like Edge and Christian. Edge and Christian were all jokes, and when it was time to be serious, they were serious. So I have no doubt that they could work a feud together. And in fact, I welcome it, because as much as I like the Vaudevillains, I don't see why they're there at this point. Challenging for those titles, and don't get me started on Enzo and Cass. The only ones who I think are legitimate in any way, despite the fact they've been booked so poorly currently, is the club. That's how I kind of see it.
Chelsea, how do you see things going?
How things going? I can definitely see the club taking the titles off New Day eventually. Maybe like not till SummerSlam or something like that. But for so long we've been wondering like who's going to take the tag team, who's going to take the titles off them. And I think the club is the obvious answer now they're in this feud. But I completely agree with Michael when he says that I really welcome this out of both of them, because even though the New Day, they are comedy to a sort of sense, like when they stop that and they start wrestling, like Big E especially, like there's no stopping them at all, and they're going to put on great matches.
Big E's amazing lately. There's been no one better.
In all facets of the sports entertainment as a thing, Big E's hitting everything at the moment. He's carrying the New Day at the moment. I think
I wouldn't say that.
He's
in the ring.
Oh yeah,
even out of the ring.
Even out of the ring, if you watch from 3 months ago compared to now, he's taking a massive control of that, and I think it definitely feels to me that there's a push for him to be the centerpiece of the team. I don't know. He's been impressive. He's been very impressive.
I can definitely see him as a singles competitor eventually. Like maybe when they do eventually leave the titles, and I don't know. I can see him maybe going for like the IC belt or something like that.
And it wouldn't be the first time he's held gold down in NXT. Is he beat Seth Rollins. He was the one that came after Seth Rollins down in NXT. So he's flirted with it when he was with Dolph Ziggler as his bodyguard. So and I'd love to see it. I'd love to see Big E actually.
Well, apparently, I read something. I don't know how true it is, obviously, but apparently, when they were picking someone to like go up to the main roster, we know how Roman Reigns is actually like Triple H's guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently Vince wanted Big E.
Mm-hmm.
And that just screams it. He screams one of Vince's guys, doesn't he? I mean, he's big, he's powerful. So I think a singles run for him is inevitable.
I tell you, I've been calling for a day where we get the New Day with all 3 belts, just being the dominant force. And you could see it easily. You could have Kofi Kingston as the singles, the Intercontinental or the US, and Big E as the world. I mean, that's certainly something that you could definitely do. And then,
you could certainly have Kofi at the least Kofi and Xavier as the tag team champs, couldn't you? With Big E carrying one of the other belts.
It's interesting that the current longest record, because WWE loves giving people these records lately, don't they? The longest amount of days held this title is 331, and the New Day are on 283. So come SummerSlam, they'll have been beaten that record. Time to lose it then, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's SummerSlam where they're going to.
I think they keep it till then as when. Yeah, sorry, Chelsea. I think they keep it till at least that time as well.
And if maybe the AJ Styles Cena thing is for a title, you could end up with the club holding the gold.
Oh, how good would that be?
Pretty damn good.
Just if Finn still had the NXT belt and then he came up with it too. Just imagine.
Or go straight after whatever the secondary title in SmackDown ends up being.
I'll take that.
Finn Balor could not play second fiddle to AJ Styles in the club.
Or Finn cashes in the Money in the Bank that he wins and wins the title.
Finn wins Money in the Bank and cashes in on AJ Styles.
People keep claiming this 7th slot in the Money in the Bank. Who's it going to be?
Well, before we get on to the Money in the Bank, let's move quickly on to the USA title, which this week saw Rusev putting a hell of a beat down on Ryder, and with his modified version of the Accolade, which, I don't know, he looked great on Kalisto, but it looked a bit peculiar on Zack Ryder. Do you agree with that?
I don't think it looks as good.
Yeah. I mean, it looks the same, I thought, but it doesn't look like it hurts. I don't know why.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't look like it hurts too much.
I think it's just because Kalisto's small. I think it looked more imposing when he did it to Kalisto.
Kalisto just looked like he was bent in two, though.
Whereas Zack Ryder just looks like he was leaning back doing a yoga position.
Yeah.
But,
it was like, oh, thanks for that, Rusev. I really needed that.
Cracking my back there, thank you.
Cheers,
but after Rusev beat the snot out of Zack Ryder, he cut the typical anti-American promo, because of course he does, which brings out Titus O'Neil back in the spotlight. The Vince McMahon shoving Titus O'Neil actually getting a second chance at things. You excited for this? Chelsea, Titus O'Neil versus Rusev. It's not John Cena versus Rusev. Is it what you want?
No. I couldn't care less, to be honest. If this was on the pre-show again, I wouldn't care. I just wish that I'd picked Titus O'Neil for my fantasy wrestling now rather than whoever I picked.
So much of it looks like his days in the doghouse are long gone if he's unless this is just another someone to challenge for a month.
All he did was try and hug him, or punch him in the arm, or whatever it was.
Vince wanted to fire him for it.
Vince is just a big baby.
That thing was all blown out of proportion, and it was even said that it wasn't the fact that I read this, whether it's true or not, it wasn't the fact that Vince McMahon necessarily thought what he did was crossing the line, but he thought there was a culture where people just weren't respecting, the rules that you should go by in the locker room, and he had to make an example out of somebody. And I think he made an example out of him, but also he's welcomed him back, and he's being like, sorry, I know it wasn't that bad what you did, but I had to do it for this reason. But I appreciate I appreciate you being suspended for me.
If Vince disciplined the children on Camp WWE like he did Titus O'Neil, he'd have a much safer environment there. That's all I have to say on the matter.
I like to think that is just Vince in real life, or that's how Vince perceives the world.
I haven't watched more than the first 2 episodes of Camp WWE.
I'm well deep in Camp WWE. Absolutely love the thing.
Oh, I can't. It's not like I can't stand it. I just don't find it funny.
Yeah, I watched that first one, and admittedly, it was live after Mania. Was it Mania? It wasn't Mania, was it?
No, it was the Raw, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know. I watched it live, and it was 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't understand. I didn't get it. It wasn't for me. But I should really go back and try it at a time that's more humanly.
I think
instead of Steven time.
I think for me, it's the fact that how far they've seemed to have pushed the belt on it was some of the quiet gags that just slipped by, but then you actually realise what they said, like the Belly's Dad one, which I still can't believe they actually got through without anyone paying attention to it.
There was one bit, I think it was in the first episode, where I swear one of the kids was meant to be CM Punk. I cannot remember for the life of me what the situation was. But if you go back and watch the first one, something happened and it looks like CM Punk.
Yeah,
would that surprise you?
No, not at all.
I did not expect that comment to push us this far off topic. I'm sorry.
Steven, we don't need much.
The USA title to Camp WWE. Is this just
one's more relevant than the other? Let's be honest.
Quickly then, is this just a thing to make Rusev bigger and better and move him on to something more? Does anyone ever see Titus coming away with the victory in the title win at the end of this feud?
God, no.
No, I don't. But I also don't think that Titus has been given his fair share. I mean, just look at the size of the guy and the power he has, and that's definitely a Vince McMahon kind of guy, right? I'd be shocked if he went through his entire career and did nothing but tag team, which is basically what he's done so far. I mean, has he even been a tag team champion? I don't even know.
Did the Primetime Titans ever win it?
I don't think so.
No, they didn't.
He's never been a champion in the WWE. That seems weird. A 6 foot whatever massive brick shit house, not a champion in the Vince McMahon WWE.
Yeah,
that's weird.
This is the world where they even gave David Otunga a bloody title win.
Well, he must have done something for them on the lawyer side of things and thought, well, better pay him.
Well, moving on from the USA title, let's talk about the women's title. And as we alluded to earlier, this was a night where Raw seemed to slip back into its old habits, as apart from seeing Steph just berate the living shit out of Charlotte, all we got was a match that was less than 2 minutes long, with Dana Brooke with Charlotte beating Natty. And that was about it for the women's division on Raw. At least it ended in a roll-up.
Yeah, at least there's that.
Chelsea, what are your thoughts on the whole women's title picture, or the women's division in general? And are we seeing a slip back to the Divas title ways?
Yeah, I mean, ever since, I think I've said this before anyway, it seems very much like all the good progress that was made before they switched the belts over has just come undone. Because how long was the match? Did you say?
1 minute and 20 seconds.
There we go. All I'm gonna say on the matter is I want Sasha Banks back, and SummerSlam.
I thought she'd have a match this week. Well, they did.
Yeah, me too. But no, I really think that they need to. I really enjoyed it, because didn't we have a period where we had 2 women segments, if not matches, every week?
Well, I think until recently, yeah. I think because they were starting to do an Becky Lynch versus Emma feud, weren't they? Until Emma unfortunately was injured.
To be honest, that's where I thought Dana would have gone, is just taking Emma's place in that feud, and then they can leave Charlotte open for someone else.
But they seem to have combined them really weirdly and still giving them less time than before.
Yeah, I mean,
what's your take on the women? Mike, what's your take on women's take on the women's tight division at the moment? You've been, seeing as you're the biggest fan of Paige here, how are you taking the women's division lately?
Well, she can fix it all, can't she? So I don't understand why they don't just use her. But I mean, where are we going now? It seems like we're going down Becky Lynch for the title. Is that where we're going with that one? That's something cool. I'd look at that. But it's interesting that I've read that the Dana versus Charlotte, no, Dana with Charlotte feud, joint forces, is not going to last long at all, and it is going to end up with them against each other. I'm like, well, how long can this be? I mean, they can't have it at SummerSlam because that is a bookmark for Sasha. It's got to be. There's no question in my mind in that. So that's got to be Charlotte versus Sasha for the title. And there's only, as you said, 2 pay-per-views before then. So is Dana going to be done and dusted in 1 month? Which it would be crazy to me. But it's at a point now where they're trying to fill in gaps until they can get to Sasha. That's what it feels like. They're like, we need to get to SummerSlam so these two can face off. Who can we use against Charlotte to lose against Charlotte? Because she's going to have to win. I guess in a way I'm glad that it's not Paige in that sense, so she's not the one on the receiving end of these losses.
But wouldn't you just like to see Paige even in that
Just
situation?
once.
Yeah.
I'd just like to see her. Just on Raw. Just even backstage, just walking.
You can catch her on Total Divas.
I'm not watching that shit. You think I'm watching that where she's with Del Rio? Not a chance.
Fucking Del Rio.
I'm now making it a rule, guys, that whenever we bring up Paige, at some point we need to take a shot at Del Rio. I've done it in the written form as well, so it's got to be done.
Last I heard, I was pretty sure he's married with kids as well, so...
Oh, now we're... Oh, throwing... Oh, it's taking it a dark turn there, all.
But, try and get
It's
back
Paige,
on top.
though, isn't it?
What are you trying to say? Is she a home wrecker? What's the history? Come on, Chelsea, tell us. What's she been doing on Total Divas? To be booking with Daniel?
Well, no. Every time I try to watch Total Divas on the website that I use, it doesn't work, and it's not on the network yet, so I'm a bit behind.
You shouldn't be trying to watch it by illegal means.
Perfectly legal. Perfectly legal. I promise.
But let's get back to actually talking about the women's division and not Total Divas. It was literally, 5 podcasts ago we were talking about a women's tag team division. And now here we are. Can you see it getting better? Is, as you alluded to, Sasha Banks the fix to this? Or is it ever going to be where we want it to be?
History suggests that they're just going to blow it again like they always do with the women's division. Obviously, all of us have had quite a strong opinion on this over the last couple of months now. There's just I just don't get with the talent that's there why they're not looking to build on what they'd started. I mean, I think it's criminal that they haven't gone with a women's Money in the Bank match this year, for example.
Do you reckon it's too late for them to announce that?
I do.
When's the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
June 19th.
Yeah, because they're going to have to do They're going to have to do matches out them. Without being funny, they can only have one a week apparently. So, I mean, yeah, unless they just announce.
Jesus Christ, they'd have to announce the Money in the Bank at the bloody WrestleMania at this rate then, just to get all the qualifiers in.
They'd be able to just. It'll be more of a case of, we did rock paper scissors, guys, and this is what's happened.
I just don't understand how we've got to this. I genuinely am confused as to how we've got back to where we're at with the women's division now, to where it was.
Question for the future of the women's division, really. What's going to happen after the brand split?
Two Divas women's titles again, or?
They were talking about the women, doing the same as the tag teams and going across both shows, but whether they're going to do that or not.
I was going to say, with the brand split, you can go completely separate, which would indicate either two women's titles or the women's divisions exclusively to a brand.
I'm gonna expect that women are exclusive to one of the brands, and I would say that would be Raw because they have a 3-hour slot.
Yeah.
That's my thinking on that. I don't necessarily want that, but that's how I see it going.
Because yeah, it'd be weird to.
SmackDown Cockfest.
Well, they could have Lana over there with.
Well, Lana's all the women you need, isn't it?
Oh yeah, she is.
And to be fair, if JBL's comment about glory holes, I think he'd be.
Okay.
Right, what context was this in? Because I don't remember hearing it, but that's all I've seen on Reddit all day.
Basically, I think when the New Day do their unicorn stomping on whoever's in the corner, and how JBL used to go, "Oh, they're stomping a mud hole in him." JBL says they're kicking a glory hole into him.
Oh my god. JBL, man. I love that guy.
He's been coming out with some crackers recently.
He does, every week. I don't know who supplies him with these lines.
It's Kevin Owens.
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
Just sliding him notes backstage before he goes out.
Well, we've kind of talked around the Money in the Bank, so let's get to it. The main event of Raw this week was a 6-man tag team match with the 6 announced Money in the Bank competitors: Ambrose, Zayn, Cesaro taking on Owens, Del Rio, and Jericho in what I thought was a good, 18-minute main event, typical 3-man that we'd expect. My only question is, who's the 7th man? Because we're a week out, and we still have no idea, and we don't know when we're going to get a qualifying match.
Don't need to be 7-man, does it?
That's what it says. They've said it's a 7-man Money in the Bank match, so...
I think with all this secrecy around it, it's... I don't know, I want to say Finn, but that's not going to happen.
That's just because Steven's planted it in your mind and it grows like a seed!
I think we're looking at one of the injured wrestlers. I think we're looking at either Randy or Bray to
that's a good shout, actually.
to take it. I wouldn't rule out Finn. It's after the NXT pay-per-view. I certainly wouldn't rule out Finn getting the opportunity and being the 7th man in there. I mean, I think it's the least likely, but I would definitely say that they would look at that. But I think more likely, I would love it to be Bray Wyatt, but I just can't see him even competing in that type of match. I think it's got Randy Orton written all over it for me.
Yeah, definitely out the two. Now you've brought that up, I think Randy Orton is definitely the obvious choice, especially if he's coming back imminently.
96% now.
Well, let's 2 weeks out. Let's do a few predictions. Who do you reckon's winning the Money in the Bank?
Kevin Owens.
It's got to be KO.
It's got to be Kevin Owens.
They're going to give it to Ambrose.
Ooh.
I don't particularly want it. I would love to see Kevin Owens. I would love to see Kevin Owens with that briefcase and what it'll bring. But I think it's the possibility of Seth versus Roman versus Dean Ambrose is too tasty for Vince not to take, I think.
Yeah,
at the same time, don't you think that then means that Ambrose needs to cash it in really early? Because they're already having the Seth versus Roman feud now, so Seth's going to get that briefcase and cash it in immediately.
Could do. Could cash it in on the same night.
Yeah, well, I didn't necessarily mean the same night. Maybe a few nights, a few pay-per-views down the road. But
it could be a rather fun thing if we get a almost repeat of WrestleMania, where Seth interrupted towards the end of Lesnar versus Roman, with Roman about to win. This time it's Dean interrupting Reigns versus Seth, with Seth about to win.
The crowd pop for that would be ridiculous.
Because Dean and Seth have had a big rivalry over the briefcase, and it would, I think, for Dean Ambrose it'd be the perfect kind of comeuppance on Seth, because he never really got it to be like, you did it to Roman, so I'm doing it to you. and he could walk away from Money in the Bank with the championship. And there's me booking something that's never going to happen.
It's got to be Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I really want Kevin Owens to win. I think there's a definite possibility that he's going to. But I think Steve's right. I think everything that I've read too is kind of pointing at Dean Ambrose. So I think between those two, it's got to be one of those.
Is this, and then lastly on the Money in the Bank, do you think, is this one of the more exciting lineups of the Money in the Bank roster that we've seen?
Totally not fussed for it. It doesn't have your Shelton Benjamin, Kofi Kingston kind of character who can do ridiculous, awesome things with a ladder. I mean, which one of these wrestlers in this match are going to use 2 ladders broken in half as a stilt?
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to do something even better than that.
Yeah, that's quite possible.
Yeah, I think we're going to see. I think we're not going to see the kind of the fun element of using the ladders like we would see with Kofi. I think we're just going to see. But I do think we've got an opportunity to see the brutal side of it with who's in it, and I think that's the way they'll go with it.
I like the sound of a brutal sound side of things. Someone crashing through a ladder.
I was going to say, the 6 guys in there are known for the more brutal. I mean, Zayn, you could argue either way, but Ambrose, he's made his career in CZW and hardcore matches and the death matches he's had. Cesaro can be brutal with a weapon. Del Rio has always tried to show his mean streak, and we know what Jericho can do. And then Kevin Owens is Kevin Owens. So, yeah, I think you're right, Steve. This is going to be a brutal Money in the Bank match.
Chelsea's dying. Chelsea.
I just got a notification from Bleacher Report, and I shouldn't laugh at it. I really shouldn't.
Go on,
But,
breaking news.
Basically, Jimmy Snuka's been mentally unfit to stand trial for murdering the girlfriend in '83. They've said he's just not smart enough to fake it.
There you go.
Oh.
Wow, that derailed this, didn't it? I know what I'm going to put as the post-show. The post-show spot.
We did. Mike, this will slightly please you. Just whilst he's one of the competitors, I listened to the. I don't know if any of you have listened to the Jericho podcast with Ric Flair last week. I was listening to it yesterday. Definitely sounded like there's a possibility that he might be going away after very soon. Anyway, he didn't give a date or anything like that, but he was very much saying that he were getting a lot of people asking him when he was going to be, when he was going to be leaving the WWE again, and he said like he was really enjoying what he was doing at the moment. He said it's his favourite run since 2009 or something like that, but the way he was speaking, it very much sounded like he won't be in contention to win Money in the Bank, because I don't think he'd be around at that time to cash in on that.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Ric Flair was cashing in the Money in the Bank, but yeah.
He could be the 7th man.
Not Ric Flair, you dickhead.
I know, I was kidding.
Although, you never know.
But that setup that you did, all of that, all the way through until you said the Money in the Bank, I was thinking, oh, Ric Flair's not going to be around much longer. Okay.
There was also a very good chance of that too, I would imagine. Well, there is, isn't there?
So Jericho's going away soon.
Yes, Chris.
Shocker. Shocker. I was wondering, why is it pleasing me that Ric Flair's going?
I thought you were talking about Ric Flair going too.
Oh, sorry guys. I meant Chris Jericho.
Dying at first, and then you were.
It did please me that I thought of Ric Flair in the Money in the Bank ladder match, though.
You'd only get that on Camp WWE as well, I think.
What, showing himself naked to everybody. That's how he would win! Woo! Woo! That's it. Away he goes. Get us on track, all.
Right. And before we get on to the WWE title picture and what that was, let's do a quick fire round of a couple of the other talking points, one line each from each of you. So we'll start with Chelsea, then go to Mike and Steve. So first off, show potentially mentoring Apollo Crews, yay or nay? Chelsea.
Sorry.
Show mentoring Apollo Crews, yay or nay?
Show mentoring.
Or you thought that?
Big Show mentoring Apollo Crews. Yes or no?
No.
Did you not see this backstage bit, Charles?
No.
It seems like you might not have seen it.
Right.
No, it was whatever time in the morning. I was half asleep. I haven't watched it back then.
Michael, this interests you? The backstage
No. No, it's weird. It's totally weird. The only thing I liken it to was that 3-week period where the Miz tried to coach Neville, and we never saw anything of that after that.
Stevie?
No, nothing with Apollo Crews interests me since he's come up. I think they've ruined him. They've ruined the poor guy. He's done for.
That's not an insult, though.
It's beautiful. One of the most athletic guys I've ever seen in that ring.
I remember being really excited to see him come up to NXT because, like, I'd seen bits of what he could do on YouTube and stuff like that. But I was really excited, and then obviously he didn't really have much of a run in NXT, did he? And then
too soon, man. Too soon.
It's all of it's too soon. Me and Michael have had this conversation over text in the last couple of days. He's just too green outside of the ring. Like I find his promos like really cringeworthy in how bad they are. Like I think it's really, really forced for him to have to be in front of the camera cutting these promos. Like you could see it in the one that he did with the Big Show Monday, and it just loses all. It loses all the interest in it for me. Like if it's coming across like that, he wasn't ready for it. I don't even know why he was pushed up in the first place, to be honest.
Speaking of potentially too soon, next up it's Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin, with Dolph Ziggler taking lessons from The Undertaker and just kicking Corbin straight in the nuts. Did you laugh as much as I did at this?
No, I cried for my boy. Poor Baron.
Stevie?
I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was good actually. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting to wrestle in that stupid hat for about 10 minutes. I thought they were going to give him 10 minutes of it.
That's
like
what
Bob Backlund crawling around the ring.
Puts that headgear on.
It was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what he said afterwards, and I've got to say I've enjoyed the battle between them. I don't think they've put on a bad match, to be honest. I think it's been a great introduction to Corbin. It's time for Corbin to move on. I'm not sure why we're having it again now. Like for me, it had finished. I don't know why we're kind of carrying it on, but I think it's definitely done the thing for Corbin. And fair play to Ziggler from that point for putting him over. Like mind you, I suppose he wouldn't have a job if he didn't do that now. But.
Well done, Ziggler. Did your job.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, we had Enzo and Cass finally beating the Dudleys, hopefully sealing this feud off for once and for all. Do they go into the Vaudevillains next, Chelsea?
Sorry, what?
Chelsea's gone at this point.
She's done for.
No, carry on. I'm back in the room.
Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains. Is that what you see next for them? Are you excited?
Anything between Enzo and Cass, I'm excited for. I don't really know why the Vaudevillains are there, to be honest. I don't. That Simon Gotch is awesome, but I think Vaudevillains as a whole, I just don't think their gimmick suits the main roster at all. Like down in NXT with the smaller arena and stuff, it worked really well, but now they've come up. I just don't think it works. I really don't think it works very well. But Enzo and Cass, for that reason and that reason alone, yeah, I'm excited.
Michael?
I think Chelsea is entirely wrong. The Vaudevillains do work. They do work. They're a perfect heel tag team. They're absolutely are. Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
of course they are.
They work really well in the ring together. But
even everything about their entrance, to their demeanour, to the black and white, everything works. Everything works with them being a heel tag team. But to the question at hand, Enzo and Cass, Probably will not be done with the Dudleys at this point. The Dudleys, they'll probably face him again because the Dudleys have nothing else to do. So, we'll give him something to do. But after this, I do think they'll go down to Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains.
Stevie?
Yeah, I agree with Michael there. I don't think potentially it's over with the Dudleys at the moment. I think they'll ride that out a little bit more. Give Enzo some in-ring.
Couple of haters.
Exactly. Yeah. I think we'll have another and I think we'll have another month or so, I would suspect, of the Dudleys versus Enzo and Cass before we do move on to Vaudevillains. But I like the Vaudevillains, so I'm not going to complain about that. It's just Chelsea I don't like.
I'm not saying I don't like them. Simon Gotch, I am all over him.
What's Aiden English done to you?
He's a bit weird, isn't he?
Is it because he's white?
Pasty, that's what it is.
Yeah,
I've noticed a trend. Seamus, Aiden English, pasty white guy.
That's it. It's just not my type.
Moving on to the rest of the tag team division, the Usos beat Febreze in about less than 2 minutes of Golden Truth and commentary. I think Golden Truth is actually the longest running storyline in the WWE right now, which is depressing. Does anyone actually care about Golden Truth?
Me, I do.
No.
I really like them together. Like, I don't know. I think it's just their entrance more than anything. Like, I couldn't care about seeing them wrestle, but when you've got Goldust strutting his stuff down with R-Truth rapping, it's golden.
God, she didn't even mean to. See what she did. I really like the Golden Truth. I do like the comedic side of the wrestling, and the only I was trying to think about this. When was the last time we had a really good comedic tag team really work? And I ended up at maybe like DX when Shawn Michaels and Triple H were doing it most recently. That was all comedic basically. But the really one that really stuck out to me, other than Daniel Bryan and Kane, was way back when we had Goldust and Booker T.
If you just replace one black guy with another, you fucking racist.
Nah. Booker T and Goldust, man, they were the best, and now we've got R-Truth and Booker T. No, we don't. Booker T's got R-Truth and Goldust.
Oh.
But what I want to happen next is R-Truth come out in some sort of paint and Goldust rap. There you go. Then we've sealed it.
Michael, edit this out. Be right back. Don't ask me anything.
Don't sigh and shake your head, Stephen. I saw that.
Yeah, it's just this is for me. This bit is like where there should be something else with the women's division. I'd rather see that than this. And I know what he's saying about the comedic element of it and getting that in, but without being funny, we've got the New Day for that. And I don't think we need this, unfortunately. I think this is just a case of putting people on, getting people some screen time who maybe deserve, they deserve some screen time and getting them on there. Don't get me wrong. I think both work. I mean, Fandango and Tyler Breeze actually work well. When you watch them, they've actually they work well together as a tag team. I think this is the perfect scenario where there should be a second women's match. I would rather concentrate the time on that than a comedic tag team that's not going anywhere.
Speaking of giving people more time on the screen, we had The Miz turn up in a backstage shot for his new movie, The Marine 5, which The Marine 5 featuring Naomi, Maurice, The Miz, and the Social Outcasts. That's a movie lineup for you.
All of them. All the Social Outcasts.
What are the Social Outcasts doing?
The Social Outcasts are in The Marine 5.
I'm going to go see it day one, I think.
Midnight showing.
The Marine 5. I was going to ask, are you interested in The Marine 5? But it seems to me that now that I mentioned the Social Outcasts are in it, yes, you are.
I haven't seen any of the Marine movies.
I've seen the first one, I think. Was that Cena?
Yeah.
Maybe I saw that. Was Randy Orton next?
Well, he was meant to be, but then the US Army got pissed off.
Oh, because he got okay. I think I've only seen the first one then. Who was the second one?
Randy Orton did the
Ted
12,
DiBiase Jr.
12 rounds, didn't
It
he?
was Ted DiBiase Jr.
Ah, Ted DiBiase, of course it was.
And then
The Miz has done everyone since.
so Miz has already done a Marine one, hasn't he?
He's done two, hasn't he?
Marine 3 and 4, and now he's doing
Oh,
it.
has he? I came across was it on? It must have been on Netflix the other day. A movie with Ziggler and Kane
Yes.
and Lana. Is it Lana as well?
That just released the other week.
What's this?
About a month or two back.
It's got 1.5 stars, so I didn't put it on.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was either on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever.
And you can go to outoflives.net wrestling section to find Chelsea's review on this next week.
But yeah,
Michelle.
the Marine 5
No worries.
Battleground will feature W superstars The Miz, Maurice, Heath Slater, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, and
Can't wait for a boat train.
I know how they're going to use them. They're going to use them like in the cantina scene. They're going to be the band. They're going to do.
Alright, this was meant to be quickfire, but do you want to hear the synopsis of Marine 5?
Yes, I do.
The Miz returns as Jake Carter, an ex-Marine who served in the Middle East and is now serving civilian lives out stateside as an EMT. After responding to an emergency call in an abandoned parking lot, Carter finds himself protecting an injured man from a ruthless biker gang. With the odds stacked against him, Carter utilizes his unique Marine skills to stop the bikers' rampage before any more innocent bloodshed.
Wow.
That guy who's down has got to be Burr, right? He's just on the floor. He's like, I believe.
And the last little bit of what was meant to be a quickfire segment, but it's as long as any other segment. Goldberg has been announced as the pre-order bonus for WWE 2K17, as published by Michael on the Out of Lives this week.
At 5:15 in the morning.
Excited for Goldberg. I mean, the 2K seems to be just getting right with these kind of superstars they're grabbing, the Ultimate Warrior, Sting. Make you excited for 2K17?
Yeah, I'm always excited for a new wrestling game, and 2K are the best in the business when it comes to sport games. I'm sure Stephen will agree that when they do something right, they do it right. And this is, the fourth game now in the 2K series, I think. And I think it's time that they start really getting down these story modes, because those NBA 2K story modes are sublime, and this one's no different from what I hear from Steven. So I'm really looking forward to the game. I always really kind of liked Goldberg because he was an enigma to me, other than the fact that he had his records. I never really watched WCW or had the chance to watch WCW, so it was only myths and stories that you'd hear from Goldberg. So I always had that intrigue, so I'll happily play with him again. Play with him? Play as him? Whatever. I'll happily play as him. Stop that laughing, Chelsea. I'll play with him as him again. The pre-orders of the previous ones, Sting and Ultimate Warrior, have led to them furthering doing something in the WWE. And I don't know if anybody who's listening has watched it. Chelsea, stop laughing. It wasn't that funny. In the video, in the window, there is a street sign. He's in the back of a police car, and there's a street sign. You can see the reflection, and it says Suplex City. Are we going to see Goldberg versus Lesnar WrestleMania?
Jesus Christ, we saw what happened last time.
I can just see them pitching that to Brock Lesnar and him just telling him to fuck off.
Absolutely.
But from what I hear of Brock Lesnar, though, he doesn't really say that. He
don't care, does he?
I'm getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who can I beat up next?
He just looks at how many zeros are on the check and just goes with it.
And I think that's exactly the same as Goldberg, and that's exactly why they should not do it.
I was going to say, the way this works is
it's just like the
actually
finger poke of
motivated.
death. That's all the match is going to be, just the finger poke of death. They're going to walk home with their paychecks and just never be seen again.
So unless they're actually motivated to try and give us a good performance, then keep Goldberg. If he does come, keep him well away from Brock Lesnar. And I think that's covered all the other rest of Raw, so let's get on to the WWE title picture of what it was this week on Raw. So we had Roman come out with the title, start giving his whole how he's the guy, and if Seth says he's the man, then why does he keep running away from the guy? Because he's the guy.
But he's not a bad guy.
Yeah, but he's not a good guy.
He's just the guy, apparently.
This then got Rollins out, who walked down to the ring, get in the ring, went away from the ring, took up a mic, didn't talk on the mic, took the mic, went backstage, came back out again.
I don't know. I really enjoyed this.
Oh, Chelsea.
Chelsea, explain why you enjoyed it, because I was just amazed by all of this.
I don't know. It's just typical Seth Rollins, isn't it? I mean, he's just a massive sleazeball, and they're just with them trying. Oh my god!
I don't know how you can go. I really love this. He's a sleazeball. Yeah.
That was the best thing about him, isn't it? I mean,
not if you watch the network, which we'll get onto.
Okay, yeah. But no, it was just perfect heel Seth Rollins. I think that's the only way to describe it. I mean, as much as I would have liked a face turn from him, and it's obviously the way to go. But I mean, if they are going to stick with keeping him heel, I mean, I've got nothing against that because he was great. And I'm just secretly hoping for a heel tag team with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, and then all is right in the world.
Mike, you seem quite vocal in disagreement here. What were your thoughts on the segment?
Again, this was one of those things that was totally half-baked, and it should have had a payoff in either sometime later on in the evening, which WWE seem to never do anymore, do they? They never go back to a storyline once they've had their segment. The hell was that?
Sorry, I live on the main road.
It sounded like a clown horn.
It's alright, the 10 o'clock motorbike hasn't been passed yet. You got that to look forward to.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so it seemed like a half-baked idea. Why did he just keep running down? Like, he didn't even try to get up on the ring, and then
They just
Reigns attack him, and then I don't know. It just seems stupid.
It's just typical heel tactics, isn't it? And I mean that they're overplaying it, but they are trying so hard to get you to boo him, and people don't. It's the same with Kevin Owens. People just don't want to boo him.
Well, let's get on to that then. The whole trying so hard to get us to boo Seth Rollins when they released the WWE 24 special about Seth Rollins' struggle to get back in the ring and make it for Mania, and his heartbreak and his rebuilding and his just. It was like I was watching WWE24 Daniel Bryan with a happy ending. That's how you came.
He's literally everyone's best friend, isn't he? Everybody's best friend, and everyone feels sorry. Yeah, I don't get WWE sometimes because that's just ridiculous. I mean, he's just come back. You've brought him back as a heel, and then a week later you're showing him being happy families with fucking John Cena. John Cena sat there having a discussion with him about how everything's going to be okay, and he's just like, yeah, man, thanks.
I just and people who say, oh well, it's obviously not on the main show, so it doesn't count, or so it's not Seth Rollins playing his character, but they advertised it on the network, they pimped it out on the network, they said go watch it. I don't know. I don't understand. I understand they're not wanting to turn Roman Reigns heel-ish. I don't get why you then do it to Seth Rollins when everyone wants to cheer him. Steve, what do you think about all of this?
They're going to cheer out there. I think at the end of the day, the fans are going to cheer him whether he does it. I don't think it matters what he does, especially when he's in a feud with Roman Reigns. I don't think they're going to be. They'd be better just embracing that and him, going over that way. I mean, I haven't watched the WWE 24 thing, but when you watch him when he comes onto Up Down Down, for example, when he's on there with Xavier and the other superstars on gaming, he clearly comes across. You can see how he is, and it's. I don't know why they don't just embrace the fact that he's over with the crowd and just have it, just have that rather than giving us something. If that's what that was on Monday, just having him run down 4 times just to sort of get us to boo him. I just thought it was pointless, really, and yeah, it didn't
Because
really do well. It didn't.
let's not mix it up. They weren't booing him. They was booing the fact there wasn't a fight. They weren't booing the fact that...
I wasn't booing Roman. I didn't think, oh, this is all Seth's, this is Seth's fault, bastard. I just thought it was just completely pointless on all sides. Like, why was Roman down there there was no reason for Roman to be down there. It looked forced what he was saying, and then Seth, well, yeah, I mean, obviously Seth's only doing what he's told to do, I suppose, but I don't know. I didn't get it, and I don't get what they were trying to do.
I think if you'd come up like a month ago and said both AJ Styles and Seth Rollins are going to be the two big heels of the company, you'd turn around and go, what? What?
Yeah.
But here we are in a land where Seth Rollins, AJ Styles are healed, and Roman Reigns is still face. But that's the WWE, and they're going to do what they're going to do, and we're going to have to just hit here and take it, because that's what we do. And we go back and watch it every week. But that pretty much covers all of Raw this week. It had its highs, don't get me, it had some good points, but I think overall it's left us a bit middling. Overall feeling I think we're getting from this week's Raw. And I think that's going to pretty much do it for us this week, because there's anything anyone else has left they want to talk about in terms of this week in the WWE?
No, I think it was a quiet one, wasn't it?
Yeah, not much.
I don't think there was any more news. I don't even think this was a particularly bad. I think we, because of what we've had recently, I think that's why this one's gone a bit down in, a bit sort of, it's gone down a little bit quieter than what we've seen. I think we've literally been given some really good stuff recently, and I think that's the reason why this one feels like it's so a bit of a downer compared to the other, compared to what we've had. I think we've been spoiled. They've been spoiled the last month with what they've been giving us on a Monday night, I think.
Well, actually, seeing as this is going to be potentially our last podcast before next week, do we want to do predictions for NXT TakeOver? Because that is next week.
I don't even know the full card for NXT TakeOver.
So let's do it. We have 4 matches so far announced. They are Shinsuke Nakamura versus Austin Aries. They are Asuka versus Nia Jax for the NXT Women's Championship. They're American Alpha versus the Revival for the Tag Team Championship. And they're Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor in a cage match for the NXT Championship. Let's do some quick predictions for each of those matches. So let's start off with the bottom, Nakamura versus Austin Aries.
Nak.
Yeah, Nakamura, but I think if they allow Austin Aries to showcase what he can do, then this match is going to be up there with Sami Zayn and Nakamura. Because I'm really disappointed with how Austin Aries has come across. But I definitely think that this match is, again, even though it's low on the card, it's one of the ones to definitely watch out for. But it's obviously going to be Nakamura, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
I completely agree with that, yeah.
As long as they showcase what's his fucking name? What's his name?
Austin Aries?
There he is, yeah. As long as they showcase him a little bit better than they've already been doing, then I'll be a bit happier, because they've not done anything great with him lately.
I think the last couple of weeks he's got a little bit better. Obviously he had the tag match with Nakamura a couple of weeks ago, and then he had the in-ring segment this week just gone. So I think they have been improving with him. So hopefully it continues. But I can't see him taking the win.
And I think as well, just unfortunately when Austin Aries did debut, it was literally just before Nakamura got announced. So it's as he alluded to, his spotlight's been stolen from Nakamura. But I think the two of them together could put on one hell of a match. Next up for the women's title, surprisingly, it's not a rematch for Bayley. It's Asuka versus Nia Jax. Excited?
There's only one thing I want to talk about this, and that's, is Bayley legitimately injured, and is she going to be on the UK tour on June 15th?
I think this is all story just to kind of give Nia Jax the push, because I've not read anywhere that she's actually injured.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Nia Jax is never going to win, but as long as I see Bayley on the 15th, I'm happy.
Yeah, so I just want to see Asuka versus Bayley on the tour. That's all I want. Just give me that. I don't want to see Alexa Bliss. Well, I want to see Alexa Bliss, but I don't want to see Alexa Bliss fighting in the match. I don't want to see Nia Jax there. I don't want to see Fabulous Girl. I just want to see them two. Carmella, thank you. I just want to see. I just want to see them two going at it. That's what I want.
So predictions for this match then, because we talked around it. Who's winning, Asuka versus Nia?
Asuka.
Without a shadow, it has to still be Asuka. You can't give it to
Asuka. Why is it not pronounced Asuka?
It sounds a lot better, doesn't it?
Japanese.
Just never understood.
If she was ever to fight Chris Jericho,
What?
where, you know,
she has wrestled in mixed.
If she was ever to fight Chris Jericho, he wouldn't be able to do his ask her in the middle, just be confused, wouldn't they? It's just like, what's he talking about?
So he has her in the walls, Jericho. Ask her! I know what I want from 2K17.
Next up is the rematch tag team title match: American Alpha versus the Revival. Are they going to do what they did last time and steal the show?
I am so looking forward to this match. Obviously, I think my prediction: American Alpha are going to win. But their last match is one of the best tag team matches in such a long time, and just to see their rematch on another takeover, I'm so excited. Like those two in the ring together is just it's so good, so good.
Mike?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if American Alpha don't come away with this one. I wouldn't be disappointed if it goes either way, but it has to be American Alpha.
Steve?
Yeah, I've got to agree, but the same. I would have no problem with the Revival cheating to win the titles and them going through to the pay-per-view after that and having a third. I'd have no problem with that. I don't think that's going to happen, but either way, I think you're in for a treat with them. They've two tag teams that just get how to tag team at the moment. They're the top. They're the top two. They're potentially the top two tag teams across the board.
I don't think you'd have much complaint there. I mean, you have American Alpha, the Rival, New Day, and the club, and you've got one hell of a tag team division, wherever they potentially end up with whatever they do with the tag titles in the brand split. And lastly, the speculation around why this was called The End in the first place. It's Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor in the first ever NXT Steel Cage match. Thoughts on this one? This is good. We saw what happened the last time these two got in the ring together.
Coup de grace from the top of the cage, or it's just not good enough.
Jesus Christ, Samoa Joe's ribs are going to burst.
Well, as we discussed when this match was announced, it's either the coup de grace or the muscle buster. We all know that guy.
Do you reckon they give it a go? Like,
No.
If you,
No, I don't think
Not a
it's
chance. Not a chance.
Because if you think about it, I don't think the muscle buster. I mean, I
think
reckon it could be done.
I think it could definitely be teased. I just, after the Tyson Kidd incident, I don't think they'd ever actually connect with it.
Oh god, I don't want Finn Balor's neck being broken. No, that's not happening.
Well, I could definitely tease for it in the corner.
But no, I'm just thinking about the way that they take the bump. Like, I don't
It'd be
think
just
it,
like a suplex, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think it's.
No, Chelsea, it's not happening. Coup de grace will happen. I'm sure of it.
But I think that might hurt more. Like a double foot stomp.
More risk for Samoa Joe's ribs exploding mid-ring with a coup de grace from the top.
Yeah, I definitely think that the coup de grace is actually more dangerous than the muscle buster. Because if you think about it, they're both just landing on cleanly on their backs with the muscle buster.
That's all right then. Carry on.
In terms of the match, though,
Because Chelsea's been in the ring and took these took these beats before.
I mean, this is the first time we've, ever have seen a steel cage in NXT. They very rarely ever do these kind of stipulations, ever. Um, how do you think you see this match going down? Is it going to be a typical WWE cage match? Are they going to do something different? Is it going to be a different cage? Do we see the return of the big old blue thing?
No, no, we won't see the return of that.
No, it definitely it's going to be a good match, and I think the match is going to be a lot better than some cage matches that we've seen recently. But 'cause that's just NXT. They always give 100% no matter what it is, and I think those two, it's going to be the match of. I reckon it's going to be a match of the year contender, and I'm really not afraid to say that.
Over under 10 seconds blood this time.
Oh, Joe's bleeding within like 2 minutes again, isn't he?
So predictions then. Samoa Joe versus Finn. Who's walking away with the title there?
It's going to be Joe.
This is the hardest one, I guess, but you'd have to assume that Joe wins his first title defense.
Yeah, it's going to be Joe.
Stevie?
Yeah, you've got to go with Joe. But I mean, isn't it a shame that we have sometimes it is a real shame that we have the internet and we have the rumours and things in it, because I think we're all saying that with the fact that we kind of know that Finn's there and ready to come up, and they've got that in the pipeline, and it's with that knowledge that you say that Joe's going to win it, because if you think back to before, we kind of had it how it is now. It's a 50-50 in it, but I say Samoa Joe, but that is literally because of what you've read and what you've heard on the internet and stuff, which is a bit of a shame. But obviously, there's nothing we can do about that. Either way, it's going to be a hell of a match. There's no doubt about it.
One final question then, to kind of play into the whole takeover the end name. Of the 10 competitors that we have on this card so far, how many of them do you actually expect to be in NXT the following month, or can you see a lot of them moving up?
I don't see a lot moving up.
I reckon.
No,
maybe...
I don't need. Go on, Charles.
No, I was just going to say, I think if it's not going to be a lot of people going up, I think maybe 2 at most. I think one of them's going to be Finn, and I've just from reading what I've seen on the internet, apparently there's lots of rumours that American Alpha are going to be up by the summer. So I mean,
definitely down for that.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
would love to see both those tag teams go up.
Yeah.
But then
you'd have nothing down there. Then,
that's the thing, in it. It's where does it leave that? But then that falls into what they were saying. We've had the stuff over the last couple of days about where they thought it was, NXT was shutting down after this and stuff. Maybe NXT needs to be a bit like that. You get to a stage, and these guys then get pushed up, and then you get a new batch that come through. And it starts again.
I mean, we all thought it when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn started getting called up. Shit, what's going to happen here? And then look what we've got.
Exactly. I mean, and if Finn, the thing is, you could say potentially you've got Finn, you've got Nakamura, you've got Samoa Joe, both the tag teams. You could see all of them would have no problem moving up and fitting in with what's there on the main roster. And then it's up to the other guys to then step up and give us what we've still been going with. I've got no problem with them moving up in NXT, not having the same people in, and that's what it's supposed to be, isn't it?
And we're getting the debut. We've had the debuts of TMDK's TM61 and La Sombra. He's recently had a video package for him, so they've got guys coming in. So it could be. I think.
Let's face it as well. Nakamura's ready to go. Finn's ready to go. Samoa Joe came ready to go. Asuka's ready to go. The Dash and Dawson ready to go. The American Alpha's ready to go.
And you're going to get to that stage with them, aren't they? Like I say, they get signed up, they go into NXT. That is the developmental area. They're lucky now that they've got this showpiece that they can put on a weekly show, pre-recorded weekly show, and then a live pay-per-view every month or every 2 months, whichever, however long it is. It comes to a time where you can't expect them to still be developing. They get to a point where they've got to go. Not like you say, all of those could go into that room and argue that they deserve to be on the main roster.
It's
And like you say, I'd have no problem with any of them being up there.
It's definitely. I think this next month's going to be interesting for NXT. Who's going up with the brand split? Who's staying left behind? Who they bring in? Who they debut? And as Triple H has alluded to, where do they go from here? I'm sure we'll find out, and I'm sure it'll carry on the reputation that it's got and carried on for the past couple of years now. And I think on that we can end today's show. So, people, where can they catch you all? Chelsea?
Fight Chelsea Fight on Twitter.
Mike?
You catch me at DjangoBob96 on Twitter.
Stevie?
Man with no name.
And then if you want to chat to me, I'm always available at the Out of Nowhere Pod Twitter address, or you could email us at outofnowhere@gmail.com, or you can go over to outoflies.net, where you can read all our latest writings, ravings, blogs, news posts in the world of wrestling, and also video games, movies, TVs, entertainment, and catch all the other podcasts in the Out of Lies family. And so until next time, as always, we are here live between 8:30 and 9 o'clock each and every Wednesday, chatting about the latest in WWE. Cheers!